Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. In this session, we will be discussing from the 27th verse of the 12th chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Takshakad Atmano Mrityum Dvija Putropasarjitat Prapatsyata Upashrutya Mukta Sangha Padam Harehe. The meaning of this verse is, after hearing about his death, which will be caused by the bite of a snake bird sent by a son of a Brahmana, he will get himself freed from all material attachment and surrender unto the personality of Godhead, taking shelter of him. So this is foretold about this child, Parikshit, that he will know about his death in advance. 7 days before his death, he'll come to know about his death, because he'll come to know that he has been cursed by a Brahmana boy to be bitten by a snake bird. And on hearing this, what will be his reaction? He will free himself from all material attachment and surrender to the Supreme Lord, taking complete shelter of the Supreme Lord, for preparing to quit the body and go back to Godhead. So Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, material attachment and taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord go ill together. I mean, they don't go together. If somebody is materially attached, they cannot take shelter of the Supreme Lord's lotus feet. And one who has taken shelter of the Lord's lotus feet cannot have any material attachment. So, material attachment means ignorance of transcendental happiness under the shelter of the Lord. Taking shelter of the Lord means one will be completely in spiritual bliss. They'll not care for anything material. They'll never seek any material happiness. They'll understand that material happiness is illusory, insignificant, momentary, worthless. So, a factual devotee who has tasted even a glimpse of what is spiritual happiness, transcendental bliss, never will turn towards anything material. So, devotional service to the Lord while existing in the material world is a way to practice one's transcendental relation with the Lord. So, Prabhupada is explaining what is this position of a practicing devotee who is not yet pure. To practice one's transcendental relationship with the Lord. Because everyone has got a eternal connection or relationship with Krishna. Every living being. Krishna says in the Bhagavatam, Mamaivamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. Eternally we are related to Krishna as is part and parcel, inseparable part. When one's practice of bhakti is matured, one gets completely free from all material attachment and becomes competent to go back home, back to Godhead. So, Maharaj Parikshit being especially attached to the Lord from the beginning of his body in the womb of his mother, was continuously under the shelter of the Lord. Even before he came to know of his death, right from the time he was in the womb of his mother. You have heard this earlier, but I'll repeat that when he was in the womb of his mother, Ashwatthama attempted to kill this child in the womb itself by releasing one Brahmastra to strike the target of the child in the mother's womb, Parikshit. To kill the last surviving descendant of the Pandavas, Ashwatthama attempted this. But Ashwatthama was completely unsuccessful because Krishna personally entered the womb of Parikshit's mother and saved the child by neutralizing that Brahmastra. So, at that time, Parikshit had darshan, brief moment, he had a darshan of the Supreme Lord. And ever since he became so much attached and attracted to that beautiful form of Krishna, which he saw in his mother's womb, and he was always searching, where is this person or this beautiful personality I have seen? I want to see him. I am searching for him, searching. So he became known as the examiner Parikshit. That's how he got that name, Parikshit, examiner. He is examining everybody. Are you the person I have seen? Are you the person I have seen? Are you the person I have seen? So he's searching for Krishna because Krishna is so attractive. So, being an examiner, always he was Krishna conscious. So he was always continuously Krishna conscious and therefore under the shelter of Lord Krishna even before he got notice of death. But when he got the warning of his death within 7 days, that curse of the Brahmana proved to be a boon to him to enable him to prepare himself to go back to Godhead. Now, briefly, I'll just mention what happened as regards the curse by the Brahmana boy. Parikshit, as the emperor of the world, he was ruling from his capital city, Hastinapura. He once went hunting because the Kshatriyas had to practice killing to keep themselves fit for giving protection to the citizens. So he went hunting and he became thirsty. He started searching for water. He came across the ashram of one Shamika Rishi. He went inside that ashram expecting that he'll find some water. He did not see any water there. Instead, he saw one sage sitting, half closed eyes. The sage was in meditation. So the sage was not conscious of his externals. But Parikshit, being very thirsty, not finding water, not being welcomed by this sage, he mistook the sage to be feigning to be meditating in order to avoid receiving the king. So Parikshit became angry. He took one dead snake that was just lying outside the ashram of that Shamika Rishi, garlanded the sage who was sitting in meditation with that dead snake, and walked away from that place. As he was going away, Parikshit reflected on what he did. Then he began to consider, maybe the sage was actually in trance. He was not externally conscious. So how could he have received me properly? How could he have even noticed me entering his ashram? And why did I insult the sage in that way? He doesn't deserve to be insulted in that way at all. So, reflecting on his action, Parikshit began to feel very, very repentant for having insulted that great sage. And he began to think, may the sage's wrath or anger burn me and my entire kingdom to ashes immediately now. I deserve the worst kind of punishment for having misbehaved in this way. So Parikshit was very, very, very repentant. And meantime, what happened? That news of the king garlanding the Shamika Rishi with a dead snake reached the boy Shringi, who was the son of Shamika Rishi, playing outside with his friends. Shamika Rishi's son, Shringi, when he heard this, he became very angry against that king. And he said, how dare the king insult my father, who's a Brahmana, who's a tapasvi. So let me teach this king a lesson. 8-year-old boy who was actually very powerful because he was trained by his father in Brahmanical practices. So he decided, I'm going to curse this king to die. Instantly he decided. He took some water and purified himself and uttered a curse. May that king who insulted my father die within the next 7 days by a snake bite. And after uttering this curse, this boy went to his father and sat near his father, waiting for his father to come out of trance. So he was crying, this boy was crying. And the father, when he came out of trance, first thing he noticed, the dead snake round his neck. He just took that dead snake and threw it away. And he looked at his son and said, my dear son, why are you crying? What happened? Then the boy narrated whatever happened. And then the sage said, my dear son, for a very, very small mistake, you have wrongly punished the king, who is the protector of all saintly persons. He himself is a Mahabhagavata. You shouldn't have cursed him to die. It is completely wrong on your part to have given a severe punishment for a minor mistake. It's not proportionate. So anyway, the sage Shamika Rishi sent word to Parikshit that Parikshit has been cursed by this immature, foolish boy, misusing his Brahmanical power. And Shamika Rishi begged forgiveness from the Supreme Lord to excuse his foolish boy, and also sent word to Parikshit that Parikshit has been cursed and Parikshit may take appropriate steps to counteract this curse. Now Parikshit, when he received the news, he thought that I deserve to die by the snake bite. So thinking, Parikshit, even though he could have counteracted the curse, he actually renounced his kingdom, handed over charge to his son to rule the kingdom, and went away to a sacred spot on the bank of the river Ganga and sat there and began to fast next 7 days and began to inquire from the saintly persons, how should I prepare for quitting my body when I am going to be bitten by a snake bird due to a curse. So the saintly persons tried to advise him in different ways, but none of them were able to assure him of achieving perfection in the next 7 days by practicing whatever they were recommending. Till Shukadeva Goswami arrived in that assembly, being sent by the Supreme Lord, and Shukadeva Goswami was received very respectfully by Parikshit Maharaj. And on Parikshit's inquiry, Shukadeva Goswami spoke the Bhagavatam. Parikshit heard Bhagavatam from the lips of Shukadeva Goswami 7 days continuously, became completely enlightened, became completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord Krishna, took shelter of his lotus feet, and when he was bitten by the snake bird, he went back to Godhead, quit his body and went back to Godhead. So that's the description in the later chapter of this same canto of Bhagavatam. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.